Hello, this will be a fairly short video. I just want to give a quick update in regards to EN. I previously said the story was going to come out in 2025 a year ago, and then towards the end of 2025 it delayed to early 2026. We're about halfway through the year at this point and EN is still not out yet, so I think it's fair to question the current state of the project. Mooney and I have been discussing the writing style we've been using and how we can update it to make the whole story flow better and make it easier for readers to understand what's going on. We essentially want to take the chapters we've already finished and update to make them higher quality, along with adding more descriptive detail and fixing continuity errors we may have previously missed. Unfortunately, I severely underestimated the amount of time it would take to just update a single chapter, let alone every single one currently in the story. We came to the conclusion that rather than spending another year or two grinding through every single chapter and dumping the whole thing onto the internet when it's finally done, it would make much more sense to release the story in individual sections, in a similar vein to how MD was released with individual chronological episodes covering an overarching plot. So that's the current plan we're going to be going with. Each chapter of EN will be released separately once it's been refined enough, before we move on to the next. In most cases, only one chapter will be released at a time, but there's a handful of shorter chapters revolving around specific characters that will probably be released alongside larger ones. EN's chapters are also quite long. Chapter 1 alone is over 10,000 words long, and it's relatively short compared to some of the later ones, especially chapters 7 and 8. Ugh. There are a lot of scenes with characters just talking to each other, since EN is going to be a lot more character-focused and grounded compared to the canon series. There is also plenty of action, narrative threads, and an overarching story to follow, so hopefully it won't be a complete drag to read through. We are trying to accommodate for the pacing as best as we can, but it's quite difficult, especially when you're writing an MD story for hopefully obvious reasons. Chapter 1 is expected to be finished by Friday this week, but if it's not out by then, expect to see it on Saturday. Before I close this short video out, I'd like to take a moment to show some appreciation for the people who've been supportive of this project. I've been working on the story ever since 2023, and it's a miracle I've gotten this far without giving up or just losing my mind. EN is by far the largest project I've ever worked on, and while it is one of the more obscure fan projects, the fact there are dedicated people following it in any capacity is what ultimately matters most to me. Even if it's just someone liking one of my posts related to it or just leaving a comment on them, it really means a lot. Thank you all for your support. I'll see you all very soon. Take care.